Met another subscriber in New York State, running another HazMat load. Trucks in the median, maybe caused by FedEx. Damn near killed a couple of Bambis. And 12-volt issues and more on this episode of
the Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and furry studio audience. Yep, that's Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, here I am in somewhere in Ohio. I'm on a HazMat load, so can't really say exactly where I'm at, even though I won't be here by the time the video comes out. Alright, so Upper Sandusky, Ohio. There's a speedway up here I'm going to try to stop at, see if they have... A lot of the speedways have freshwater spigots at the fuel islands. So I'm going to see if they have one here at this one. Can't remember for sure. So I can fill up my fresh water tank, you know, for my sink, so I have water for Rusty, and to run my toilet and everything here in my Clutch Trucker remodel. So,
take the ramp ahead.
When last we spoke, I was in Racine, Virginia, on my way up to Waverly, New York. That delivery went fine. At a CVS. Then went back across the highway to this Dandy Mart, is where I had parked for a few hours before that. Got a little bit more sleep, then had to roll on out to Geneva, New York to pick up a load from Seneca Foods that went to an Aldi in Hinckley, Ohio, and actually it didn't go near as bad as I expected. Aldi's typically hold you up for hours and hours and hours. We're going to make this light. Looks like we will. Alright. And they actually, well, they didn't use Capstone for the lumper. That's a lot of the issue. They used a company called Eclipse. So they had me out within a few hours, and then they also had a nice parking area there. So I was able to park afterwards, get a little rest, then went and picked up my next load in Pennsylvania, HazMat load, so I can't really give into specifics, but it goes to Nebraska. I can say that. And then got parked in Youngstown, got a shower last night. Mark and I met there, had some Mexican food at this great Mexican restaurant, El Terraza. Great Mexican place. And then after that, I went into like a Mexican food coma and slept all night long. It kept snowing all night, so I wasn't really anxious to get out there too quick. And got up and got going today, filled up at the sheets. This is a tight corner. You can see this pole here where other trucks have hit it. You got to take it as wide as possible by the guardrail here. Make it around. And let's hope they have some water here at these pumps anyway. So yeah, I got rolling today, so here I am in Ohio. And do they have a water spigot? I see one. Let's hope it works. See one at both of them. Alright, we'll give this a shot. So hopefully I can get my fresh water tank filled and I'll run in and do my business and all that stuff. What do you think? Yeah. Alrighty, get pulled on up here and get in position, baby. Alright, yes, they did have fresh water available. So I got my fresh water tank filled up, which is great. Got some more milk. Been eating lots of cereal lately. And got my giant pack of water. Ice Mountain. Seems like I go through one of these things once every few days. But ever since I cut out the soda, chugging the water, baby. Alright, yeah, I had about 4 waters left, and I keep those down underneath my bottom step, where I also keep, so I can get one of those big 24 packs down there, plus a few more. That's where also I keep my blue Campicum, the stuff for the toilet. So, and I just emptied that yesterday when I took my shower and all that. Like I say, ever since I switched from soda to water, I've been going through waters like crazy, but since I was so used to soda for all those years, I still got to put the flavoring in it. So here I have the Crystal Light. This is the Crystal Light Citrus with caffeine, because again, I was too used to the caffeine, and I'm not a coffee drinker, and I've never have been. So still going to have my caffeine. Can't give up everything at once, baby. So you just tear that off and you pour it into the old water here and mix it up. Then I have flavored water with some caffeine, and that works well for me towards the beginning of the day, towards the beginning of my drives, or at the end if I'm starting to crash. Then you just shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shake it. And for non-caffeine, I've got the Stir strawberry watermelon. That's my favorite one there. 0 calories. So that works well. What's this that fell down? Oh, my Samsung card thing. So that's how I get away from the sodas. But I've been doing that now since March of last year, and been working really well for me. And all that sugar, you don't need all that sugar there, right, baby? Okay, so we're trying the trucking office again, ELD. When I met up with Mark, he had gotten a different dongle from trucking office. So we're trying that one. Got it plugged in yesterday. I had that, see that middle circle there with a check? It had a yellow circle there saying there was a diagnostic event, but it might have been from just connecting it. So we're trying it now. It turned green today, but sometimes it took up to a full day, day and a half before I'd get the green or the red, and the red was the main disconnect you don't want to have. For those of you scoring at home, yeah, we've tried Big Road. That one wouldn't even recognize when I started moving the truck. We've tried the trucking office. It kept having disconnect issues. And we tried the Garmin e-log, and it kept having the disconnect issues. I tried logging out of both the Garmin and the trucking office to see if maybe that would work when I had the truck turned off, but I still had the disconnect issue later on. So we're trying this dongle to see if it makes any difference. You know, you got to have your dongle, baby. What would a man be without his dongle? Anyway, so we'll see. I don't have a lot of faith that this one's going to work, but we're giving it a shot. What do you think? Alright, so we showed our half-hour break there at the Speedway in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. And we'll get going again. Yes, they had the water and all that, which is great.
2.5 miles. Turn right on North Walpole Street.
The Crystal Light little packets I was showing you a minute ago, like I say, they're okay. My favorite is the Boost, but the only place I can seem to find that
on US 30 West
is on Amazon. And right before Christmas, Amazon was terrible about getting things to you on time, so I've got some waiting for me at the house. I ordered some more of that blue, Campicam toilet stuff from Amazon, and it's waiting for me at the house too. I've still got 1.5 more bottles of the little bottles here in the truck for now. That should get me by for right now. If I have to find a Walmart to get some more, I always can, because Walmart still sells that stuff as well. Alright, so yeah, we're delivering in Nebraska is all I can say on Monday. And then we'll see where we go from there. We're giving the trucking office e-log another shot. We'll see how that goes. And then maybe sometime over the weekend I can start putting together my full review of the Garmin OTR 1010. I've been using it now for, what, a week or so, and I can tell you I do like the features of it. It's not that much different from the OTR 1000, but that bird's eye view feature, boy do I like that. That really helps out when you're getting to the warehouses and even some of the truck stops. Maybe if I haven't been to one in a while, or they've changed the entrance or something, it does help out. You can kind of see how the lot's laid out. Kind of gives you a little heads up. So it just gives you more information. I know some people complain that it doesn't have the toll road option to say yes, you want to avoid toll roads. That doesn't really bother me all that much, but overall, I can say I do enjoy it so far, so we'll have that full review probably coming out definitely within this week. Alright, let's see if these people are going to let me merge in. They're actually slowing down. How about that? I can't believe it. A four-wheeler letting me in. Oh! It's amazing.
In 4 miles, keep left to US 30 West.
I'm running smaller highways. I could have taken the turnpike. I really didn't feel like paying for it, for one, and two, this is a heavy load, so this forces me to go a little slower, and I've got plenty of time all weekend to get to this delivery on Monday, and then that forces me to get a little bit better fuel economy. What do you think? typical January days in Ohio here on Highway 30. I like this highway. It's a good way to go across. You can avoid the turnpike. But, you know, overcast, kind of cold, about 34. At least it's not very windy. This car up here, this Explorer up here in the left lane ahead of me, as I was trying to make the merge from around Upper Sandusky onto the highway to stay on 30, she comes shooting across 2 lanes, realizing she's about to miss her exit. Then she's going slower. I pass her. I've got the cruise on. I pass her, and then I get in front of her, and then she comes whipping back around me again, proving she's not paying attention. I'm convinced 90% of the drivers out here have no idea what speed they're going. All they know is, I don't want to be near the big truck. Ah! Anyway, I do have another subscriber I got to meet up in Waverly, New York. Art, we'll see him coming up. There was looks like a flatbed who got pushed off the road on I-81 in Pennsylvania by a FedEx wiggle wagon. We'll have that coming up. Almost killed a couple Bambis. Just missed them. I thought for sure I was going to hit them. And who knows, we may even catch some more ass wagons as we're driving today before the sun goes down. You never know. Okay, so here I am, parked somewhere in Illinois. I'm on my way to Nebraska with this HazMat load. I went to go plug in my little rechargeable. See right here, it's a little 12-volt rechargeable flashlight. So you can turn that on, you can get a low beam, you get a flashing. I don't know what the flashing means, but you have a light on the side. Anyway, I went to go plug it into my little 12-volt, multi-plug up here, and something blew. So now that knocked out everything that plugs in 12-volt wise. GPS, both my dash cams, my, I've got one of these, I can't even remember the name of it, Wilson Electronics, no, maybe not Wilson, somebody makes it. They sell it at Love's. It's a cell phone antenna booster. Helps boost up the cell signal when you're out in the middle of nowhere. They all plug into this old strip up here. And so now I've lost all of that stuff. I think it blew the fuse in the fuse panel, which unfortunately is below this dash shelf right here. So here's the great dash shelf I have, made by V Truck, by the way, that I have up here on my dash, you see. So I have a nice flat area to put everything. That's where I put my stand for my light and my mic. But the fuse panel is right there in between the vents. You lift that little thing up, but to get to it, of course, I have to move this whole dash shelf and everything. So I'm hoping it's just one of the fuses. I wasn't sure, I couldn't remember what size it took, so I went into the truck stop here, got a variety of fuses, packages of them. So hopefully one of these will be the right size, and we're hoping it's just the fuse that blew in that thing, which would make sense. I don't think I've ever replaced that fuse in the 6+ years I've owned this truck, so we'll try that. I figure this will be a good opportunity for me to show you at least how to replace a fuse like this on the fuse panel here in a Coronado. So I guess we're going to do this. Okay, there's the dash shelf off. So you can see this panel now I have to open. You push this little button in here and you lift it up. We'll try to do that now. Alright, so there's the fuse panel exposed. Now I got to take the flashlight in there and try to figure out which one of these fuses blew, and hopefully that's all it is. Okay, I think I figured out which one it is. I think it's right there. See, it says cigar 15 amp. I think that's the one right there. Alright, I popped a new one in place down there. We'll see if that does it. Okay, well, I figured it out. It wasn't that fuse that I had to take the whole dash shelf and everything apart to find out. It was this thing. This was my splitter, 12-volt splitter that I had up there. Right, plugged into here I had my GPS. Plugged into here I had another 12-volt splitter thing, which you can't really see. And now the camera's falling. See right here, all right? And this one had both my dash cams running off of it. So, problem is, this other 12-volt splitter right here is the one that just took a crap on me. Of course, they don't sell those inside this truck stop because it's a little no-name truck stop, so I'm going to have to find another one of these sometime tomorrow. At least the good news is, this just does not want to stay in place. I've got this one. I can at least plug in one of my dash cams and I can plug in my GPS. And it also has a little USB connection, so I can plug in my extension speaker for my GPS. So that's all I'm going to be able to run right now. I won't be able to run my antenna boost and the other dash cam. So as long as I have one dash cam running, I feel safe. So yeah, so I got to buy another one of those. Gotta love it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave the new fuse in there. Why not? Because the old fuse was 6 years old. So let's put a new fuse in that place. And that was the right spot. It's just, it was that little box and not the fuse. Well, my wife always taught me, anytime you have to get into places you can't normally get into, I wiped everything down and cleaned. Might as well, since I'm just going to cover it all back up. So now I'm going to put the panel back on, and we'll put the dash shelf back up and try to put everything back together. What do you think? All right, got the dash shelf back up there, GPS back in place, pre-pass back in place, fed the wire for that, up down through the dash, down to there where it plugs in, so you don't see that there. So trying to get everything back in position where I had it. There you go, bada bing, bada boom, bada boop. All right, well, that was obnoxious. It took an hour and a half I wasn't planning on, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Everything's back in its place. I'm gonna put a little bit of the Scotch dual lock 3M. Is it Scotch or is it 3M? It's the well, it's Scotch made by 3M. Ah, see? You think they trick you. Dual lock stuff. I've got some against my little panel here on my dash shelf that was holding my previous little 12 volt splitter thing in place. So I'll stick some on this 12 volt thing, stick it up there so it don't rattle while I go down the road, baby. Yeah. See, I've got the 3M dual lock right there against my little side of my dash shelf. Now I just put it on the inside of the little 12 volt splitter, so then that will just stick it right there in place, and it won't rattle, and it'll stay in place while I'm going down the road. I have to tape these things plugged into the 12 volt thing, or else they keep wanting to pop out. That's the problem with the 12 volt stuff. And then my GPS keeps turning off. That's obnoxious. All right, so now we got it locked in there. Everything put like it should. Now we can put Sully back. Sully needs to sit right down here in front. There he is. There's old Sully. Gotta love Sully, baby. Alright, well, like I say, that took an hour and a half out of my time. I wasn't planning on tonight after getting parked, but, you know, I gotta have my dash cam working, gotta have my GPS working. So, because, you know, as soon as I don't have the dash cam running, that's when some asswagon's gonna pull some stupid stunt in front of me. And there I am, you know. And speaking of ass wagons pulling stupid stunts, yeah, I got a couple of things on the dash cam. When I was driving up I-81 in Pennsylvania, it was right around Carlisle, I think it was, or Harrisburg, somewhere in there. There was a flatbed that went off into the median, and I'm like, how do you do that on a dry road like this? Oh, some big truck went off the highway there, and he's in the median. It's perfectly dry conditions. I don't know how the hell he did that. Oh, there's a FedEx up ahead too. Maybe the FedEx cut him off and threw him into the median. Yeah, but then you see afterwards where I said, well, there's that FedEx truck, that wiggle wagon there, the doubles. He wouldn't have been there unless he had to be there. What do you think? So my guess is the FedEx probably went into the left lane when that flatbed was there and pushed him into the median. Not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's my guess. Then while driving in northern Pennsylvania on my way up to New York State on a little 2-lane highway, a couple of Bambis. Yeah, now we'll do the clutch trucker zoom and slow-mo. All right, there's the one on the right side. Look right there. And there's the one crossing. Yep, usually deer turn the other way, but boy, I just barely escaped them. Not one, but two that I saw, which means there's probably more around, so I lucked out on that one, baby, yeah. All right, and finally do want to show you, yeah, I met another subscriber while I was in Waverly, New York. Art was his name, Art Wolf, I believe. So let's say hi to Art. All right, may not be able to hear us because Rusty's barking his head off, but yeah, I'm just sitting here in Waverly, New York, and Art came walking over and said, hey, Clutch, and said you're one of my subscribers and wanted to come by to say hello.
Yep.
So you're doing some local stuff around here today,
Yeah,
right?
I try to stay within about 3-4 mile radius of here.
And he's got a nice truck. Let's zoom in on that over there if I can get a good shot of it. Yeah, you got a nice little Kenworth over there. That's a pretty one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I love those older Kenworths.
Try to keep it clean, but kind of hard now in this time of year.
Oh yeah, definitely. And of course we got the rain today, and
Yeah.
they said they're even calling for ice tomorrow and stuff.
Be a fun sleigh ride.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming by.
All right, thank you.
Like I say, I always love meeting people on the road, and if my curtains are open and you see me parked somewhere and you recognize the truck, you've seen it in all of my videos, especially all my remodel videos and everything. Pretty easy to find this truck. You want to come over and say hi? Glad to say hi. I'll even give you the tour. It was raining and everything, and I had to get back to bed real quick in that case, so unfortunately I didn't get the tour, and Rusty was yapping his head off. But like I say, if you ever see me out on the road, love to meet you. Come on by, baby. Alright, so here I am parked somewhere in Illinois. I'm on my way to somewhere in Nebraska with this HazMat load. It delivers Monday morning. And then we'll start to look for loads out of there and see what we can find. You know, Mark kept asking me any place you want to go. I'm like, yeah, follow the money, baby. Follow the money. So, been doing pretty good the last few weeks. Typically, January and February are lousy times for truck drivers. But actually been doing okay. And part of that is because of the HazMat stuff. And part of that is White Stones has a better reputation than some of the trucking companies out there. We can command a little bit more, and you know, you do make the right calls at the right time. Bada boom, bada bing, bada boop, and you can still turn out okay. So there you go. Ran my butt off coming back out of Florida and doing that quick one over to Ohio and everything, but got a little time on this one, so that's kind of nice. Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. Yeah, we got deer, we had trucks in the median, we had the damn whole 12-volt issue going, blah, 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 blah. But at least we got that back up, right, Rusty? Yeah, he doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, are we done with this so I can get my begging strip, please? Right? That's all you care about. That's all you're thinking about all the time. Begging strips, and you're tired. You're ready for bed, too. Oh, well, thank you. I love you, too. Yes. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please like and comment. Get to your comments as soon as I can. Sometimes takes a few days because I'm a working truck driver, unlike a lot of these other trucking videos. And there's Clutch Trucker at Instagram, Clutch Trucker at Twitter, where I usually put Rusty stuff. Been really lax about that lately. Sorry, because I've been real busy, but I'll put some more up there soon. And as always, sniff the magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? No, man, I don't know. What do they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? A Royale with cheese? Down here, come on. And there it goes. All right, you almost went over it there. All over that bacon strip, baby. A thick cut bacon strip from Junior. He's loving it. Do-do-do-do-do. He's loving it. Isn't that something like that? I don't know, McDonald's thing? I don't know. I hate McDonald's. I always say I never plan to go to McDonald's. Sometimes I unfortunately end up at McDonald's. Luckily, with my fridge and freezer, microwave, Ninja Foodie, and everything here in the truck, I don't have to deal with the fast food crap out there very often. And how about that, Rusty? Oh boy, you were all over that bacon strip, weren't you? Did you get it all? All right, let's get the happy dog look. Rusty! Up here. Hey, hello? Hello? Rusty, you got it, buddy. Look up here, come on. Rusty, hello?